We used to be pretty traditional and we would graze, just kind of throw some cows out there and really no rotation at all. We'd just throw them out there, and when the grass was gone, we'd move on to the next and the next. And same thing year in and year out. So we started cross fencing, putting water tanks up on hills and away from the riparian areas. And we've increased our grazing capacity probably by, I don't know, a third again as much. And with the shorter grazing, you bite that grass off once and and move on and let it recover. I don't know if it really matters how short you graze it. It's the amount of time that you let it rest after you have grazed it. I think our livestock are much healthier. I think they've done a lot better, and I think we've gained great financially by doing it that way. We've increased our grazing capacity, like I say, plus I think the health of the livestock are better because they're always on good feed. I would guess that we've gained 10% on our conception rates, 8 to 10%. And our weaning weights have went up 40 to 50 pounds. Overall health of the livestock is way better. Way better. There's no comparison there too. It's just keeping those cattle on fresh feed all the time is just improve the health of the herd, the health of the range, all of it. The health of the riparian areas. It's a win-win for everybody. Labor-wise, I just leave it up to these young guys. And they don't work near hard enough, I know that. No, labor-wise, I think that when there's quite a bit, there's a lot of, the electric fence is really easy to maintain compared to like a 5-wire fence. I thought at first that Wes was crazy putting in all this high-tensile wire, but there's really not much to it. The antelope figure it out, the elk figure it out, and there's very little upkeep in it. It's real easy. Yeah, they can build a mile of fence in a day. So we'll try turn in on a 3-leaf stage, and when they've peeled it down to about 4 to 5 inches, we're out. There's usually a leaf or a leaf and a half left on the grass, and we're on. Moving on to the next one. And that is in the spring of the year. Now in the fall of the year, it's quite a bit different. I mean, we'll stay in those pastures a little longer and slow down our grazing. Like I say, when the grass is dormant, you can graze quite a bit slower. But when it's growing, you want to be moving. We've been trying to stay out of our native pastures until the fall. We're not grazing them much. We're grazing the introduced grass. I figure we've got that farmed up and reseeded back to grass, and if we tear something up, we could just well tear that up.
Yeah.
As to go out and ruin a perfectly good stand of native grass.
Sure.
And our native grasses have benefited greatly from doing that.
Yeah.
Really just kind of work with the existing fences and the existing water and just kind of how they use the pasture. And if there's a piece that I want in or out of the pasture, you know, might be a little native chunk in there, or a little chunk of tame grass you can fence out, or if it's just a big chunk of tame grass, I'll just cut it in half according to where the water is. And we have a system over here that is chopped, it's dissected like that, so it's got 4 pastures and they come to the center for water. And I guess right around the tank gets maybe a little bit heavier used right around the tank, but you're moving around those 4 pastures quick enough that it's not too big a deal. And they all have water on the outsides of those paddocks as well, so they have 2 sources in each one. Having more than one water source is very key to any pasture, and I would encourage, if you can, to have even a 3rd or a 4th. I mean, the more water the better, and it just is a better utilization of the whole pasture. And if one water source happens to go down, then you're not just scrambling to try to fix that. The labor that is involved with poly wire, it's pretty easy. I would say. I don't know that it's less than patching up some broken wires, but we can string out a bunch of poly wire in a little bit of no time. High tensile electric wire is very, very maintenance free. Most things we ever do to it is replace a broken insulator or popped off insulator once in a while, and that's about it. Making the switch to smaller pastures and better utilization has increased the number of stock we can run 40 to 50%, close to it probably. And it's just better utilization of pastures. We get better breed ups. They're in smaller pastures. The bulls can cover them a lot better. They're always on fresh feed. The calves gain better typically. There's a lot of upsides to it. You would just have to figure out for your own operation. That's probably hard to put a number on what you might gain out of it, but it's substantial. We were doing about a bull to every 20 to 25 cows. Now we're crowding more around 35 cows to every bull. So there's another cost savings, I guess. When bulls are 8 to 10,000 a piece, that can be pretty substantial. And it actually makes the cow moving quite a bit easier, where we used to have to go through a barbed wire fence and sit there and let them pair up for an hour. Now if I kick them through an electric fence, I just kick them through, and yeah, the calves will run back underneath the electric fence, but they figure it out. I don't even mess around with pairing them up anymore. The cost savings in pasture utilization has been pretty substantial, and where a lot of this stuff that we have chopped up was hay fields that we typically used to spend all summer haying, putting up winter feed. And now a lot of these hay fields are what we're grazing all summer. And so that gave us the ability to stay on that tame grass all summer long. And we're saving all of our native range for winter grazing. And we can typically get by pretty well the whole winter unless it gets really severe without feeding any hay to the mother cow. So the cost savings when it comes to equipment, we do own haying equipment. We're all dry land. We have no irrigated. And so when it's a super good year, we'll put up some hay with our own equipment. It's older stuff that we just kind of keep running. It's nothing special, but it'll put up a little hay if we needed to. The cost of replacing it is astronomical and not anything that we're interested in doing with the amount of hay that we would put up with it.